This story dives into how MAGA family conflict can spill into real life and destroy important moments. Let's get into it.
I'm struggling after cutting off a MAGA family member. I uninvited him from my wedding. I know it was the right decision, but it still hurts. Mostly because I can't understand how he fell so deeply down the MAGA rabbit hole. I have other family members who support Trump, many of whom are largely apolitical and don't even vote consistently. A lot of them are white, low to middle class boomers or Gen Xers who never went to college. I don't think college makes someone better or smarter, but I do think it helps people learn how to evaluate sources, which I believe is part of why some people fall into MAGA conspiracy thinking and others don't. There are two family members who went especially far down that path. The one makes sense to me because he's extremely pro-2A, and that's always been his main issue. He used to bait me into arguments constantly during Trump's first term, but that's mostly stopped, and I get the sense he may be slowly disillusioned with MAGA. I've mostly heard that through the family grapevine though, so who knows. The other is the one I can't wrap my head around. He has an MBA, and before he retired, he was one of many VPs at a well-known company. While he's probably the wealthiest person in the family, he's not hanging out at Mar-a-Lago rich, if that makes sense. He is one of the few people in my family with an advanced degree, like me. I bring this up because he likes to say my schooling indoctrinated me, but we both went to similar liberal institutions and have the same level of education. We're similar in a lot of ways and work in related fields. The biggest difference is he's a male boomer, and I'm a female elder millennial. Among other things, he's a 2020 election denier and thinks all protesters are paid. Still waiting on my check, apparently. He doesn't think COVID was a hoax, but believes it was wildly overblown, even though I know he was vaccinated. The first time I remember being genuinely alarmed, though, was when he believed Democrats were aborting babies after they were born. I've spent years trying to talk to him using facts, sources, and actual evidence, but nothing is ever good enough. What finally broke me and led to me uninviting him from my wedding was his insistence that Alex Preddy pointed a gun at ECE agents, despite clear video evidence to the contrary. He also told me that if I ever went to a protest and got hurt, it would be my own fault. I asked him directly if he thought protesting meant I deserved to be shot, and he said that if I brought a gun or interfered with ICE in any way, then whatever happened to me would be on me. There was a lot more that went on during that conversation, but this post is already really long. I'm not really sure what I'm looking for here. I think I just needed to vent and be around people who understand what it's like to lose someone to this mindset. If you made it this far, thanks for listening. Update. 3 months later. For a while, I thought she was going to respect my decision and let it go. Then a few weeks ago, she started asking if I had sent him an invitation. I hadn't. I uninvited him after Save the Dates went out, but before the actual invites. I knew from experience this wasn't something she'd drop, so I told her if she felt that strongly, she could send him an invitation herself. I wasn't going to do it, and I didn't want him near me. She kept pushing, asking why I couldn't just send it. I even dropped an extra invite off at her house and told her the same thing. If she wanted him there, that was her choice, but I wasn't going to be the one to invite him. Later, my sisters and I talked about it, and we all had the same thought. She didn't actually want to be the one to invite him. She wanted me to do it, so her hands stayed clean, so she wouldn't have to feel like she was going against what I wanted. If she sent it, then she was choosing him over me. We don't know if she consciously thought that, but knowing her, it fits. His kids RSVP'd no, which I expected. She was upset about that, and ended up calling my uncle to tell him he was invited before he even got the invitation, which she apparently sent the day before. He still said no. After that, she texted me to tell me he said no and apparently make me feel bad. I think she expected me to call and beg him to come. It turned into a huge fight. According to her, this is all my fault. I'm breaking the family apart. I only care about myself and my friends. She's done everything for us, and I couldn't do this one thing for her. I started it with my uncle, and my grandmother would be furious with me. That last part really got to me. My grandma and I were very close. And honestly, she would have been furious at my uncle for how he spoke to me. Both of my sisters said the same thing when I told them what Mom had said. Grandma believed in family, but she never would have tolerated him saying that to me, and she would have chewed him out. My reception is in a couple of weeks, and even though I know I'm making the right call, I had a breakdown last night and wanted to cancel everything. We've been paying off final wedding expenses, and it just feels like this whole thing is tainted now. I feel like I'm paying all this money to not enjoy the party. I know there will be fallout. People will notice he and his kids aren't there, and my mom has a tendency to say things she shouldn't when she's been drinking. So that's another layer of stress. I just don't understand how I ended up being the bad guy here. Why is it okay that he can say anything he wants and I just have to suck it up? Why am I the one who has to tolerate disrespect? This isn't her event. If she wants him at something she's hosting, that's her choice, and I would show up, keep the peace, and get through it for her. But this is my wedding, and she can't seem to offer me that same respect. And that's been the most disappointing part of all.
If you've made it all the way to the end, thank you for sitting with this story. These kinds of family situations are messy, painful, and way more common than most people admit. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Would you have uninvited him too, or handled it differently? Drop your take in the comments. I actually read them. And if stories like this resonate with you, hitting the like button and subscribing really helps the channel keep going. It costs nothing, and it means a lot. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.